Hello, everyone, and welcome to a mini review of the brand new PlayStation Portal. Now, this is not quite the PSP that I was hoping for from Sony, nor is it the successor to the Vita that I so desperately wanted from Sony. Uh, I wish I could say rest in peace, Vita, but the Vita refuses to die. The Vita has a homebrew and fan base like no other dead system, and that's saying a lot. But the PlayStation Portal isn't all doom and gloom. Actually, this thing is pretty cool. Let's get into it. So, right away, I want to point out the size. The size is kind of big. But you know what? If this is, if you're on the go and you have a good internet connection, this screen, I believe this screen is only 1080, but it is the best looking 1080 you will ever find. Like, this is one of Sony's absolute best looking screens. I don't know what it is, but it is fantastic. I'm not sure if it's OLED. I don't know if it's just LED. I think it's LED, but I know it does not go to 4K. And that's okay. It's fine. But what's really interesting is right away, I'm sure you can tell, it's a DualShock. Like, just straight up. They just, like, bam, plastered two DualShocks together. And feels great. No complaints. I like the, like, to talk about its closest gaming comrade, rival, another device that's just like it, the Switch. The Joy-Cons are, they're hit and miss. I don't mind. I'm neutral on the Joy-Cons. I don't really like them as a sideways device, and I get that, you can do what you want with the Joy-Cons. I have no negative nor positive to say about them. They're interesting, they're alright. I know Nintendo had a large issue with the drift for a while there. I never really had an issue. But, when it comes to comfort, this is the best. Between Steam Deck, Switch, 3DS, PSP, Vita, and the PlayStation Portal, this is by far my favorite if we're talking about the device in your hands. The screen is great. The sound quality on the speakers is okay. I'm using the MDRs, which are my best pair of Sony headphones, to just try this out. I'm playing Resident Evil 4 Remake. I got Ada Wong in separate ways here. I've actually been waiting to play this. But, yeah, so we got the main screen and the PS5 running. Uh, if you know what this is, I like you already. But, so let's get into a few things. The pros and cons to this. Pro, this thing is very cool looking. Con, please buy a case if you're actually planning to take it anywhere. I have a feeling this thing could snap like a cracker. Um, yeah. So just be very careful. And no, if you're wondering, I already tried it. Don't try and put it in a Switch case because it will not fit. Maybe if you had one of the giant Switch cases, then maybe that'll fit. But just if you're going to buy this, just buy the case. That's all I can say. Just please buy the case. Um Pro, you already have a super awesome library as long as your stuff is installed through the PlayStation 5. The disc is in the console. You have PlayStation Plus and can do cloud gaming, I guess. I don't really know. Almost like 95% of my stuff is digital, so I can just go straight to the SSD or the hard drive and just select boom boom boom, good to go. Yeah, not a big deal. Um Con, when I was trying this out at my college today, oh boy. This thing is not really an option. I was trying to play Alan Wake 2 earlier, and granted, it showed up. It looks beautiful. It really does. But when you are running on the minimum specs to get the PlayStation, I forget what they call the remote play. They're calling it something else for this. I'm not exactly sure. It's remote play. But when you're using the bare minimum, like 5 megabytes per second, you will be feeling it hard. Oh yeah. So there's a con, but pro, when you have good internet, which I do right now, it runs fantastic. And in Sony's own words, you have to have a robust Wi-Fi connection. But yeah, so the screen, beautiful. The controller, fantastic. The sound, not bad. Not bad. I'm using the good headphones. That guy's got a axe to grind. No, dad jokes. I'm not a dad, but I want to be. I just need a hot wife. But Leon has the wolf ears. That's funny. But yeah, no, this device is really cool. Looks great, plays great. Battery's alright. I haven't really used it enough to know, but it hasn't died instantly on me. Looking at you, PSP 1000. But I'll show you some gameplay. We got some gameplay coming up. Maybe we got some gameplay coming up. I've always loved Ada. So it does hold up really well. There are moments where everything feels kind of off. But I have no real issues. I'm not too picky when it comes to this stuff. Now, would I like them to do more with this? Yeah, I absolutely would. I think this is a great device. I still want Sony to make a proper handheld, but honestly, this is something that's really cool. Let me pause for a second. I will show you a little more. Here's the top. We got the Sony logo. There's volume, power. I don't know what that is. I think it's like a connection thing. On the bottom we have Type-C and 3.5 millimeter jack. And that's really it. There's not too much to this thing. But let me grab the PSP. I'll show you some comparisons for those of you wondering about the comparisons. Hold on. Sorry. I'm a klutz. Okay, so here we have PSP and Vita. Now we got this big boy. So here's these three together. And yeah, as you can see, sure, one can fit in your pocket. The other will never fit in your pocket. And that's okay. Let's see. Where did I set? Here's the box. If you're wondering, yeah, I live in Japan, so of course all my stuff is in Nihongo, or as the Koreans say, Ilbono. But yeah, here is the Switch case. It's bigger than the entire Switch case, so that's why I say if you have one of those massive set cases, that would be really good. Maybe I'm just gonna say it. Please just buy a PlayStation Portal case. That's all I can say. I don't have one right now, but soon I'll get one. But here are these two. Here, I'll show you actually a fun little comparison. Just to show you guys. So the screen's a little bigger. Yeah, this is the Switch OLED, so it's. I mean, they can be compared pretty well, but really, this is one of those things where I'm not gonna say go out and buy one if you're not already convinced. If you've been thinking about it and you really like portable devices, or let's say, here's a good example. So, one of my big things is I really want to travel throughout Japan. And sure, in the evening, would I like to play PS5? Absolutely. I have a huge PlayStation library. There's a lot of RPGs I want to play. There's a lot of things that I'd like to just just do a little bit of here and there. But this behemoth of a console is just way too big. It is not the PS1, which, for anyone wondering, this is the size difference between a PS5 and a PSONE, the one. So if you're ever wondering what this is actually called, that's the official name, PSONE 1. Or as my friend Steve and I like to say, the original PlayStation Portable with its killer LCD screen. I love this thing. I will always love this thing. Even as an N64 child, this was one of those things that I super wanted, and I was actually super jealous about with PlayStation, was the cool screen and everything. And even as a GameCube kid, GameCube preteen, I was still wanted that same thing for GameCube, and it just never happened. What can you do? But yeah, the PlayStation Portal pros. It's beautiful. It's very high class. It has very good Sony design to it. It fits the PlayStation aesthetic, so whether you have InZone, PS5, you have the 3D Pulse headphones, you really like the white and black aesthetics to PlayStation, I get it. It's a cool aesthetic. You can have your library of games, so I'll give you a little example of my library here. So you can just go into your library. Yeah. So this is just my installs. So I mean, they're right away. I mean, it's still not the Switch. I I am still very upset with Sony about that. I mean, it's not the worst product, like it's not the worst price point. If you want it, you probably know you already are thinking about getting it. I have no issues with this thing. Things I wish it could do that it doesn't. I wish it had Bluetooth headphone capability, which is why I had my wired plugged in. Again, not a big deal. Uh, there's the new 3D Pulse headphones that are earbuds coming, so you can just plug those in. I want to get a pair of those in the future. It's not a right now thing, but in the future I'd like to. You could basically plug any headphones into it. Uh, Cons. It's expensive. You have to have an internet connection. And depending on your internet connection or game you're playing, the controls can feel a little wonky. But again, it's not a deal breaker. If you want it, you're probably going to get it. Or you're probably just going to highly desire it. But honestly, does it change the gaming landscape? No. No, it doesn't. It's just really cool. Think of it like a really high class accessory to the PS5. Is it the VR2? No. Is it a new Vita? Sadly, no. It is its own thing. It's basically a Switch tablet. No, not a Switch tablet. It is a Wii U tablet. And I will stand by this until I die. The Wii U is a better console than the Switch. I just like the Switch because I can take it anywhere. Yeah, it's more modernized. It has modern games, but the Wii U was so much better. This is not a Nintendo review, nor is it a I hate the Switch review because I don't. I just personally think the Wii U was so much more fun. Its online interactive was so cool. This is basically a Wii U tablet, but you can take it places. I'm probably gonna end up playing this thing without turning the TV on or the monitor, whatever. So this has been Hajime Incorporated. This is the PlayStation Portal. You want it? I suggest you get it. You don't, you're not missing out on a ton. Either way, it's up to you. And remember, just have fun.